Hello, welcome to Spark Joy Astrology. I hope you're having a beautiful Friday. It is August 4th, 2023, and I am back, friends, to break down the daily transits in order of how they go down. I am a Virgo rising sign, so I love detail, friends. So it's good to be back. I took a day off yesterday. I was on a family vacation in Steamboat. I actually just got back not very long ago at all. But yesterday I was frolicking in the mountains, swimming in the hot springs, and was not able to announce to you all that something kind of exciting went down in the cosmos yesterday, or a beginning of a cycle started. But we'll get to that. I first want to break down some of the aspects that happened in the morning yesterday and the aspects that happened today as well, so you have a good flavor of what's going on around this particular start of a cycle. So let's get into it, friends. Yesterday, on Thursday, August 3rd, we started the morning at 5:53 a.m. with the first aspect. It was between the moon at 5 degrees in Pisces and Saturn in 5 degrees in Pisces. Yes, friends, they were conjunct, meaning blending together at 5:53 a.m. And the moon representing the yin within us, our emotional quality, as well as our most intimate partnerships and our body, our connection to our body, blending with Saturn, who is retrograde. This Saturn energy is one of a wise old grandfather energy who wants to see us succeed, but uses, kind of tough love to get us there. Really pushes those hard lessons, maybe restricting a bit of love to get you into your highest self, according to Saturn. So when our moon and Saturn blend together, we have this power up around our own wisdom, our own maturity, and self-discipline. So this particular aspect happening in the morning is asking us to progress with our emotional state, to use self-discipline to help us become more wise and integrated. And this particular aspect sets the scene, friends, for what is to happen later on in the evening with Mercury. What is this thing that I'm talking about, the beginning of a cycle? Well, it includes Mercury, who is in Virgo, his home sign. So he is powered up, his ability to communicate, to analyze, to get into the depths, and pick up all the messages, not only internally in your own body, but in the energetics of relationships around you as well. So Mercury going retrograde, that's the beginning of the cycle that started on Thursday, August 3rd. Not that he is going retrograde yet, but that he started the pre-shadow phase. We're going to dive into all of that once Mercury actually hits this at 6 p.m. But let's back up and go into the aspects that set the scene for Mercury starting this cycle. So at 9:03 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, the moon moved 2 more degrees to 7 degrees of Pisces and opposed Mercury. Here's our character, Mercury, the alchemical wizard of the cosmos, who is able to go into the heaven realms and the hell realms and deliver messages. Here, our moon opposing him could bring in conflicts between our emotional, instinctual, feeling self and our logical, rational, intellectual self. This opposite tension that an opposition brings in is this tug and pull. One of us has to learn, or the other one has to learn, but really it's both, right? But this tug and pull puts us at odds. And so here we have our analytical nature and our emotional nature at odds. And what this tension brings in is an uncovering of unconscious patterns, right? Those moon things. And Mercury being able to shine a light on anything that feels like it's something that you keep coming back to, friends. And we're going to keep coming back to it during this retrograde cycle. So here we go. We're jumping into it now. At 6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, Mercury hit 8 degrees. So we move from 7 degrees, making that opposition to the moon, and then moves to 8 degrees. 8 degrees is this potent degree that begins the pre-shadow phase. What is a pre-shadow phase? Well, that is the phase that starts at the degree in which the retrograding planet will come to stop and go direct. So here we are at 8 degrees. What happens now is Mercury will move all the way to 21 degrees of Virgo by August 23rd and then start retrograding. So the retrograde period begins August 23rd and will end once Mercury makes it back to that 8-degree spot on September 15th. Okay, so then the Mercury retrograde is officially over-ish because now the post-shadow phase begins for this retrograde cycle. And that is when Mercury moves from that potent 8 degrees back up to 21 degrees, officially ending the retrograde cycle for Mercury. So what this means, friends, is that anything between 8 and 21 degrees of Virgo, and really any other house, 8 to 21 is a hot spot. If you have any planets in these ranges of degrees, you're going to have Mercury intimately connecting these planets through various aspects. It could be a square, an opposition, a trine, a sextile, or maybe some minor aspects as well. So it is really valuable to know your own chart, but everyone will most definitely be feeling trines to Jupiter. Transiting Jupiter in Taurus will be trining Mercury moving through Virgo, which is really beautiful blessings, friends. This is a beautiful Mercury cycle. And I know intimately that it is tied to our connection with our ancestors. I'd love to share the Sabian symbols to this particular retrograde. 8 degrees is where we're going to start, and that is a potent degree, friends. The Sabian symbol, rounding up to 9 degrees, is a man making a futuristic drawing. So knowing that this is the starting point of our retrograde cycle, what futuristic drawing are we putting into our mind? We've already used these aspects from the morning to uncover any unconscious patterns. Now know that this futuristic drawing is going to incorporate healing around this pattern. And maybe it is a deep ancestral pattern that you're working out in this particular lifetime to really amplify and help your entire genetics behind you, right? So it could be big. Mercury in his home sign is big. This is alchemy, friends. All right, so a man making a futuristic drawing. There is the beginning point and kind of the middle, right? The end point, 21 degrees of Virgo, we're going to round up to 22. And this one really brings in that ancestor family quality. And this Sabian symbol is royal coat of arms, a royal coat of arms. So we move from a man making a futuristic drawing, future, into serious tradition and blood and ancestry and all of that beautiful energy that is put into creating a royal coat of arms, a family coat, or all of these beautiful drawings that encapsulate so much integrity around a family name and a bloodline. So how interesting, friends, that I've been diving deep into feeling the ancestors, and the Sabian symbols speak to this cycle being connected to our coat of arms, if you will. So very interesting. All right, so here we are, pre-shadow starting. It's time to get curious, friends. The alchemy of Mercury is that he is curious. He is like that bumblebee moving around from flower to flower, using his instincts to take him where he needs to go, but very curious, very wily coyote energy, if you will. So Mercury also rules the nervous system. So this is a time to look at what brings in stability to our nervous system and what knocks us out of that place of stability. We want to learn how to stay consistent and with a dialed down nervous system, right? Parasympathetic system flowing, getting in that receiving yin energy is balanced. as much as you get that yin or yang do go energy, right? So this is a potent time for us all to make sure we are being balanced. Mercury is that lovely energy that can go into the hell realms as much as the heaven realms, but it is also the energy that can balance that darkness and that light within us. So a potent transit, friends, just starting on the 2nd as far as the pre-shadow phase. Okay, at 7:02 p.m. last night, after Mercury starts moving into this pre-shadow phase, we get the moon at 14 degrees of Pisces, sextiling Jupiter at 14 degrees of Taurus. This is juicy, friends. This is subtle because it is a sextile, but it is of nature, the nature of Venus. So it is creative, beautiful, and can be very beneficial around relationships. But this is optimism. It's inspiration, cheerfulness. Jupiter is that benevolent, lovely energy. So we have the ability to tune into some goodness as well as honesty, able to express honest feelings with this energy. So it's a beautiful one. And we have one more on Thursday night, and that is the moon at 15 degrees of Pisces, making another opposition to the house of Virgo. But now instead of Mercury, it is Mars. Mars is leading the way in Virgo around this desire to go after what makes you well, health, daily routines. And that really does mean connecting to our ancestors, friends. I know I keep saying it, but they are very much a part of our blood, and the flow and the health, the keeping dis-ease out of our body is very much a group effort, if you will. This blood is rich, friends. So tuning in to Virgo with all the Sabian symbols that we've already, played with a little bit, know that that's where we're working on this futuristic drawing towards our coat of arms. And this energy is really asking us to fire up our passions towards this healing revolution. We got Venus. She's in retrograde. She's making all these squares to Uranus, making this huge love revolution underway, going down. So here we go with all of this packed house of Virgo also helping us to find the passion, to find the chutzpah. Not only is Mars in Virgo, but so is Pallas Athena, the female warrior, the strategizer of the zodiac. So them traveling together, friends, is some serious warrior passion energy. The downside to that warrior energy is frustration and anger. So when we're working with an opposition and the moon's involved, there can definitely be some hot-tempered feelings when Mars is opposite, but also some passionate, fiery feelings. So it just depends on where you're tuning in, but they are at odds. So this could uncover some space where maybe you need to work on your frustration. Hello, Moon, conjunct Saturn, helping you make more wise decisions, right? But we do have that magnifying lens out for looking at unconscious patterns. The moon was opposite Mercury. Now Mercury's in this pre-shadow phase. So here we go, friends, with just a lot of passion and fire at the end of the night. This is a beautiful energy to start the next day. Our moon still in Pisces, which is my most favorite place for the moon to be. I got to go spend the day in the water, hugged in the mountains at Strawberry Park Hot Springs, which felt so magical in a Pisces moon day. So today on Friday, we're still working with our moon in Pisces, but she is at the end of the Pisces degrees, which, lately, last month or so, when we had our moon get into the end of every constellation, she was making a lot of hard aspects, and it was kind of a lot of intensity around looking at shadow things and up-leveling and all this Pluto stuff. But today, we are working with more positive aspects at the end. So it's lovely that Pisces is allowing us to have this real spiritual tune up, if you will. So 9:35 a.m., the moon at 22 degrees of Pisces, sextiles Uranus at 22 degrees of Taurus. So another connection to Taurus. We've made Jupiter connection, now it's Taurus, or Uranus rather. And Uranus is our revolutionary energy, right? It's what's been squaring Venus in her cycle of retrograde. She got it on the direct motion. We will actually hit that square in retrograde motion next week. So we'll get deeper into that. But think around beginning of July, that was the first square. Now we're in the pre-shadow phase, if you will. And now we're in the retrograde phase where she's going to come into that square to Uranus. So serious love revolution energy next week, friends. But this is excitement in the air. Uranus is that lightning bolt, like change, evolve energy. So this excitement in the air can bring spontaneity, creativity, because we're working with that sextile, but creative downloads, right? Those electric downloads that you're like, oh, aha moment, that's what that pattern meant and why I'm seeing this again, but connecting the dots. So it's a very innovative energy. Conversations and ideas can be out of the box and exciting with intimate people because we are working with the moon. So have fun on this Friday morning because we don't really have too many more aspects that go down until later on in the evening. So this one sticks with us for a while. But here we go at 5 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. The moon conjuncts, meaning blends with Neptune in Pisces at 27 degrees. Neptune is also going retrograde. So here we go with some internal check-in around deep feelings, deep psychic feelings. Pluto is going to be hit by the moon next. So we're working with intensity. Pluto is at 28 degrees, but in Capricorn. And the 27 degrees of Pisces, where Neptune is, they're all being sparked off right now. So this intuitive energy with Neptune, our abilities are really heightened with our psychic skills at this point. Also, devotional energy is strong with Neptune. That's our spiritual antenna. So practices around sparking up your spirituality are really beautiful around 5 p.m. on Friday evening. It's a dreamy, sensitive aspect because Neptune is that watery, illusory energy. You can definitely get emotional and maybe cry, get a little watery out of your eyes because the moon is our emotional nature. So definitely a sensitive time this evening, friends. And then at 7:21 p.m., the moon moves to 28 degrees, one more degree, and makes that sextile, sextile to Pluto, who's going retrograde in Capricorn, blending with the aspect right at 5 p.m. So Pluto is the depths of our soul, the deep desires that we long for, and the riches of our lives, right? It's definitely deep intensity here when our moon is conjoined in any way to Pluto. But this sextile is a positive aspect, again, by the nature of lovely Venus. So we're able to tap into our deepest desires when it comes to those riches of life. And are we looking at how we're denying ourselves those, repressing those, or resisting those? Because this is a great aspect to use for creativity, to bring in those things that we are desiring that maybe we are denying ourselves. So a beautiful energy to up-level your desirous nature and attune it to your psychic spiritual self. So is it hindering? Is it helping you? These desires, if they are hindering you, that's maybe part of that uncovering unconscious patterns earlier on Thursday morning that we can now work to let go of denying ourselves from. Okay, 9:19 p.m., last aspect of the day, the moon moves out of Pisces and into Aries. Woo, friends. So I got a Pisces moon natally and a sun in Aries natally. So these two energies are two that I know well. But this one, our moon moving into Aries, is kind of a challenging place for the moon because Aries is ruled by Mars, the warrior, right? Very masculine, fiery energy. So the moon in this place can kind of feel a little out of place, a little uncomfortable, because Aries is that masculine, hot energy. It's very energetic, it's idealistic, it's very much a leader, that warrior, go in charge energy, that loves spontaneity. It's very bold and aggressive, young at heart energy, but because it is a fire sign, it can very much be hot and tempery. So moon being here can lead to temper tantrums, but it can also be this passionate energy, and just like a match being lit, that spark of spark joy energy. But this is definitely some passion, friends, if you want to work towards that, or anger. So you choose your route. It's always your choice, but this is definitely some independent energy, some confident and determined energy to take out on a Friday night. Just don't bulldozer anyone over with your fiery self this evening. But it is some empowering energy, friends, as our Mercury is starting to work through the degrees that will be re-looked at during the retrograde time. So between yesterday and August 23rd, anything that comes up Mercury-wise will be revisited between August 23rd and September 15th. And definitely, so journal, friends, keep track of these things. This is how we grow spiritually, when we're tracking the cycles and can really look at the patterns and up level. So wishing you oh so much love. It's good to be home, and I hope you just have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend. Lots of love and joy. Mwah!